Okay, so the other part of the three main offers of reactivation, speed to lead, and the third one being the AI receptionist. I'd say you probably see this most businesses, or not in most businesses, sorry, in most ads. I usually find this probably the most popular kind of offer that I see on the market of like replace your AI receptionist. Pretty saturated. I think, in my opinion, speed to lead and reactivation are a bit more, a quieter noise on the ad front right now, as of September 2025. Can still very viably sell this to businesses. This really is to target, I think it's too soon to really target people's desire to replace a receptionist fully. I don't think an AI assistant can truly fully replace an AI receptionist just yet, nor do I think businesses want to, because it's quite scary when you admit to yourself that you can literally replace a human with AI. I think some businesses obviously are doing it. I know IBM, for example, which is a more enterprise business, will replace I think 8,000 of their employees with AI. With that being said, a small to medium sized business doesn't really want to do that. So what is more focused on is the actual out of hours and suboptimal delivery of their current receptionist, or let's say, taking a weight off of the receptionist's hands to allow them to focus on the in-person experience rather than being on the phone or missing things. Because even then, if it's a busy place, receptionists will often miss calls and never call people back ever. So there is a lot of money to be made when you just implement that. And again, this does depend on its complexity, but 4 to 5 hours is a rough guide. However, there is a caveat depending on how many services. If they want the booking to be in a secondary CRM outside of high level, as soon as that happens, there's a lot more time involved and it gets a lot more expensive on the client. I would suggest that clients try things as a minimum viable product, as in high level, and then once they're happy, moving it outside high level once they've got the results they're looking for. So let's go into the pricing strategy, since I just touched on it a bit. Similar to speed to lead, you have the singular appointment booking, like a real estate person, where it's like, hey, can I book an appointment to see a house? Oh, it's with David. This is David's calendar. It's like singular services. This is much easier to do. So you can therefore, if you choose to, charge an upfront fee of $9.97. You could waive it if they sign up for a year, for example. There's a bunch of things you can do where you then charge them just $2.97 to $4.97 just for the AI receptionist, or $2.97, and then if they want to add on the other ones like the reactivation or the speed to lead, you can then up it to $4.97. And again, you can lower the cost entirely and just really ramp up the rebill. That's completely up to you. I see agencies do different things all the time. When it comes to multi-service booking, this is when you have a service business like a nail salon or a med spa that that has 20 plus services, group bookings, people booking multiple services on the same person. Basically, there's a lot of more complex prompting and testing involved, where you may also need to set up other flows, automations, etc. to ensure accuracy of the booking for the customer or for the client. As a result, you want to charge a lot more. To be honest, I would usually charge like 3 to 5k doing that, but again, you can charge $1,997 and then do $497 a month. And then for custom integrations, as in anything outside of high level and that does not directly integrate with Google Calendar. What I mean by that is, if a external CRM doesn't natively have like a two-way sync with Google Calendars and they just want a lot more information than just the booking, that's going to be very expensive, and I wouldn't go ahead with that until consulting with our team to take a look at if it's possible and how long it will take, just so you find yourself not underquoting. Most of the time people want a custom integration. There's an expected longer purchasing cycle, and again, you can always waive the software fee. So if they sign up for a bulk period of time, you can obviously waive it. Now, in terms of the opportunity itself, why would you even have an AI receptionist? This is kind of the angle I'd kind of take it, instead of just replacing an AI receptionist, is that usually businesses work on average 9 till 5, or 10 till 4, or 9 till 3, not 7 till 10 p.m. So half of the hours of the day in which someone's active, they are not active taking a call. And if they do call and they're looking for something like a service, if they do call and they're not answered, they'll just go to the next service or the next competitor. So over the year, it's very feasible for a larger, a medium business to lose $50,000 to $75,000 depending on the cost. Now customers will usually call between 8 a.m. to 8 p.m, 9 p.m. if they could, or at least they're searching. The reason why they don't call is you're not available, so they can't call. Now, when customers actually need assistance, this is kind of the breakdown, right? So 8 till 9 a.m, most people aren't open at that time. It's usually into 9 a.m, but by that point they went to work. 9 a.m to 12 p.m, it's about 20% of the calls, like lunchtime period. 12 to 5 p.m. is like 28%, and then 5 till 9 is like when people have a lot of inquiries because they've just finished work, but you're not available. Same with weekend. Actually, availability on weekend can also be less, which is also worse for the client. Now, you're missing early morning callers, you're missing evening researchers, and you're closed. Some businesses are closed the entire weekend, or some are open. Yeah, it varies, right? The point being is that AI can cover 24/7. It's perfect for evening browsers to answer questions. It catches those early morning people, and it handles like the emergencies. So when you look at like the real cost of being closed, if you look at like an average call per day of 12 calls and half of them are answered, when you look at like a booking rate of like 25%, so if you call, the booking rate from a call to booked appointment is like 25%. That's pretty polite, I'd say. It's not an over exaggeration whatsoever. If your average service value is $150 and that's a weekly revenue cost of 1.5k, that's 74k a year lost. So very big win by just having some calls answered. So here you are, and this is a polite way of putting it. So the modern customer calling journey. Now this is a polite journey where in reality more customers will just go to another business much faster, but I just kind of mapped out a rough calling journey. Where someone can call in the evening, no answer. The next day they're probably put on hold, or just aren't even answered, they miss a call. At that point they're giving up and they're going to competitor. With the AI, customer can call anytime, any day, super quick, and book straight into calendar. Now in terms of the industries that are losing the most to like a close sign, you have beauty services, med spa, dental practices. Home services is massive because obviously emergencies, and then fitness and well-being, people miss out. Like that's a gym membership. That's recurring, so that could be like a 12-year membership for like thousands of dollars. And obviously real estate. In terms of what an AI receptionist actually does, I try and remind businesses or agencies to think about it as like, what does an actual human being do? So the main thing here is to answer the call, to have a conversation, to understand intent, to answer questions, to book by service type, to handle FAQs, and to collect customer information. Where behind the scenes, the AI can update the CRM, send confirmations, route urgent calls with custom tools, track your missed opportunities in pipelines, and just give a really nice oversight for the business owner without having to always kind of be on top of everything. Now, the really cool thing is that, as I said before, if people are trying to sell AI and you go to like multi-service industries, this is like a really complex thing. So if you can handle multi-service booking, that's like a big amount of ticket, like group bookings, multi-service bookings, like that's well over $100. So a business having that within the AI receptionist, like you can very feasibly provide that to them and make a profit very quick. When you attribute this, you can just do that in the pipeline. So obviously when a call comes in, that's in the pipeline, it's like an AI call. If it's a booked appointment, then they just be moved into the next stage. You can very easily find out how much benefit the AI actually drives within the business in a very short period of time. And as I said before, relatively simple to set up depending on the complexity. And in our modules, we actually have pre-made like clients that we fulfill with multi-service calendars of over 20 calendars, like how we set up our learning as like a complete case study breakdown, which literally will give you, it just save you like months of learning, because again, it took us a lot of time to actually figure out like the perfect way of doing it. So that's in a later module. I'll show you that in the actual setting up of client. And yeah, in the meantime, I'll speak to you soon.